Yeah. Well, first, just to build on what William is saying, this is just about seeing things clearly. When you're shown something that's a bad outcome, it's not because, oh, that's doom and gloom. It's, oh, if you don't want that bad outcome, let's steer to something else. And as Jared Lanier said in The Social Dilemma, the film I was a part of on Netflix 5 years ago, the critics are the true optimists, because the critics are not trying to hide or be in denial about the problems. They're actually looking at what the problems are so that we can actually solve them. So I want to give you why I'm going to make a strong claim that we are heading to an anti-human future when it comes to humans having a value, humans being valued, in the future that we're heading to. Why can I say that strongly? Everything can be predicted by the arms race dynamic and the prisoner's dilemma. If I'm a frontier AI company and I've taken on trillions of dollars or hundreds of billions of dollars of investment capital, what makes back that investment? Will I beat my other frontier AI competitor if I race to augment human labor and build tools that just help that worker? That's not good. Everybody paying $20 a month, that's not going to pay back the amount of investment. What makes back that investment is the race to replace human work, the race to build artificial general intelligence and then superintelligence. That's what their actual goal is. That's what they're telling you themselves. And the companies and businesses that adopt AI faster and swap out their workforce, they're going to outcompete the companies that don't do that, that try to keep their human workforces. So it's an arms race all the way down. And there's a framework that we like to invoke in our work by the writer Luke Drago and Rudolph Lane called the intelligence curse. What is the intelligence curse? It's modeled after something in economics called the resource curse. People here know what the resource curse is. Think about Libya, Congo, South Sudan, Venezuela. You're a country. You discovered a natural resource like oil or conflict minerals or rare earth metals, and then suddenly the vast majority of your GDP comes from that resource. What should have been a blessing turns into a curse because you get an authoritarian government that's basically only profiting from the extraction of that resource and disempowering the people around it. The visual you should have in your mind is like shanty towns or disempowered people times a lot of money coming from that natural resource. What does this have to do with AI? Well, the writers, again, Luke Drago, mentioned that there's this thing called the intelligence curse. What happens when 60 to 70% of the US GDP comes from AI and from data centers and not from people? Very soon that's going to be the case. And if I'm a government, I've got tax revenue. Do I have an incentive to put that money that I'm gaining into education and childcare and healthcare and the development of my people? Well, I don't get a return on that anymore. That's not where I'm going to get my GDP. So I'm going to put that, I have a strong incentive to put that into data centers. And it's how you get Sam Altman just 3 weeks ago at the AI India Summit. He was asked, well, doesn't it take a lot of energy to run AI? And you know what his response was? Well, it takes a lot of energy and resources to grow a human over 20 years. This is a devaluing of humans, not because I'm saying anybody's evil or wants that, but there's the temptation when AI is doing all the work and all the labor. I can tell you confidently you're going to get an AI-first world, and we don't have a plan to value the humans in it. And there is a way out of it. In the essay, they talk about how we need to turn the intelligence curse into intelligence dividend, like what Norway did with the Sovereign Wealth Fund. There's a few counterexamples, but you have to do things early and right so you end up on that other pathway.